Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. I'm very glad you're with us on this Good Friday. It's April 18th, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, my name is Jeff Morris. I've been leading this group since 2007, and my co-leaders, Matt Keelan and Walt Glass, filled in for me all of 2024 when I was out of touch in the beginning of this year, and I'm slowly sort of stepping back in to let them go look for a job. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading this group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I launched a website called careerdfw.org. In 2012, I launched a website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. This meeting is all about networking. It's about sharing job search information. It's networking with everybody else. And we hope and we suggest that you turn your camera on and make sure your full name is displayed in the Zoom. So if people want to try to connect with you, they can find you. I see there's one person who just has first initial for last name. You may want to go edit it and put in your full last name so people can connect with you. We'd love to see your smiling face, so please turn on the video. We'd really appreciate that. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. We'll then do job leads, our 30-second introductions, everybody here in the room, and then we'll do everybody online. Then we'll hear from our committee reports, the interview success workshop, the practice interview team, and the career tip of the week. And then we will have our main event with Rick Martinez, roasting the recruiter. Hope he has these hot pants on because we're going to roast him, coming up about the top of the hour. So we'd like to start the meeting off with success stories. Any landings? Anybody in here? Landings? Come grab the microphone. Just push, yeah.
It's working now?
Yep.
Yes, it's not really a landing. I started shopping for donuts. So I'm looking for stores so that when the offer come around and I sign it, I will now know where to find the donuts. So I have an offer coming.
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I have an offer coming.
We look forward to hopefully next week hearing all about it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
That would be great. Anybody online have good news to share? Going once, going twice? Anybody online? All right. What we'd like for everybody who's online now is open up your chat window and put in the name, put in your name, position you're looking for, your email, LinkedIn address, phone number, what city you're you're in right now. Give us 2 or 3 target companies, and then give us companies where you have connections at. We would like to, so you can help other people. So I'll put 30 seconds on the clock, let you start typing away. All right. Let me see here. Okay, what we're going to do now is I have everybody who's in the room come through their 30-second introductions. So if you want to just come line up grab the mic since you're up. You can go first since you're walking in. And we'll do those. I don't, Mike may not be on. Push it up.
You go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Good morning. My name is Miguel Castillo. I am looking for a VP or Director of Finance in the FP&A space. Job in the DFW Metroplex. Need contacts at Caterpillar, and I have contacts at American Airlines and Amazon. My name is Miguel Castillo.
My name is Hilbert Delonzia. I'm a software development engineer in test. I build scalable, intelligent software test platform with Joy. And target company is in fintech, health tech, and any other company that need test automation. No contact for now. My name is Hilbert Delonzia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Garber. I'm a IT program and project manager. Target companies this week are Cisco Systems, Toyota, Constellation Energy. I have contacts at Kyndryl and IBM. My name is Michael Garber.
Morning, folks. Nice Friday. I'm Penn. That's like what you write with and an extra N. Hoyt. I'm a director of marketing in the B2B space. I put together the teams that put together the programs that drive the leads, that go to sales, that make the deals, that keep us all employed. Penn Hoyt, looking for a contact at Solera. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a director level role for data analytics products. So I'm looking for contacts at target companies that include 7-Eleven or HEB or Keurig Dr. Pepper. I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. So my name is Mike Belzil.
Hello, I'm Sean Toy. I'm a supply chain director. I transform and optimize global supply chains with minimizing working capital. New target company is Bristol Cone Solutions. I have contacts at Alcon. My name is Sean Toy. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Todd Haney. I'm looking for roles in customer success and implementation. I need contacts at Tyler Technologies and Caterpillar. Most of my contacts are in the world of education, which I'm candidly fleeing, but I can help you if you want to go down that route. My name is Todd Haney. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is George Workins. I'm in sales in IT and AI digital transformation. I have contacts across a wide array of industries and the federal and state governments. I'm looking for a new role in digital transformation with AI. Again, my name is George Workins. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Well, happy Good Friday, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin, currently seeking a business analyst role, and Dave and Buster's and CoreLogic are two of my target companies. And again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Autry. I'm a senior retail operationist and merchandiser. I worked for Walmart for 16 and a half years, serving in 4 different roles. Anthony Autry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Good morning, Plano Career Focus Group. My name is David Houghton. I am looking for directorship in the IT space. I am looking for contacts at Triumph, American Airlines, and the Benny Keith. So 3 opportunities. I came from the Neiman Marcus Group, so I have a lot of connections and capabilities there. Also, with my IT experience, I have a lot of connections across the Dallas Metroplex. So once again, my name is David Houghton.
Thanks, David. All right, we'll go online now. Since I always started the A's. Today we're going to start in the back of the bottom of the group and work our way up. So Vitaly, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vitaly Platonov. I'm supply chain and logistics professional in automotive. I'm looking for position with Lucid and International, this truck manufacturer. I have connections at Hyundai Motor America. I'm located in Richardson, ready for relocation. Again, Vitaly Platonov. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tracy.
Good morning, guys. My name is Tracy Harris. I'm a senior recruiter at Thomas Edwards Group. Some of you have probably heard of our organization. We're local to the DFW, working on accounting, finance, HR, and IT positions, both direct hire and contract. We've got about 100 right now in various ranges, but happy to connect with you. My name is Tracy Harris.
Thank you, Tracy. Steve.
Hi, hi. My name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I've got contacts at Fiserv and the GM HP, and my name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you, Steve. Chandra.
Hi, my name is Chandra Thomas, and I'm looking for positions in administrative analyst position, and I need contacts at United Health, Blue Cross Blue Shields, and Nestle. I don't have any contacts yet. Again, my name is Chandra Thomas.
All right. Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am your Career Tip of the Week host. I am looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition partner or senior recruiter position. And as far as contacts, as I hear them, I'll reach out to you directly. I need contacts at Goldman Sachs, Deloitte. Barely see, sorry. Delta Dental, Unum Dental, MetLife, ADP, USAA, TIAA, and Ericsson. Again, Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Partner or Senior Recruiter position. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Randall.
Hi, my name is Randall Christopher, and I'm looking for a process improvement position. I need contacts at Honeywell and Ericsson, and I have contacts at Samsung Electronics America. Again, my name is Randall Christopher.
Thank you. Phil.
Good morning. I'm Phil Elsner. I'm a PMP level project manager with lots of experience in telecom and a lot of education and some experience in healthcare as well. I'm Phil Elsner.
Thank you, Phil. Kathy Meredith.
Hi, my name is Kathy Meredith. I need a role for a business analyst or product owner position. I'm really attracted to digital. That's what I've worked on a lot in my career. I need contacts in the travel industry, like at American Airlines or American Express, GBT. And I am Kathy Meredith. Thank you.
Kathy Dixon.
Morning and happy Good Friday. I am seeking a position I'm Kathleen Dixon. I am seeking a position as a VP in sales and operations, senior living, healthcare, or learning. I am currently looking for a contact at Spring Education Group. And I have contacts throughout senior living, Atria, Senior Living, Brookdale, Discovery 5-star, etc. Kathleen Dixon.
Joshua, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to. Joshua's at working, listening. All right, we'll keep on going. Ed.
Morning, everybody. Ed Buckley. I'm looking for senior corporate real estate, workplace, and facilities roles. I have contacts generally across the real estate field, and the two people that were asking for contacts at Ericsson, my details are in the chat, and may be able to help you out. Currently, not looking for any specific contacts today. I'm here to kind of sound things out and figure out next moves. Again, name's Ed Buckley.
Thank you. Don.
Hello, my name is Dawn Jones. I am in search of a quality management position. I'm currently in need of contacts at Texas Instruments, Abbott, and Amazon. I can help with contacts at Raytheon. Again, my name is Dawn Jones.
Thank you. Don Champlin.
Hi, I'm Don Champlin. I'm a strategic transformation consulting advisor, and I am in the process of establishing connections with various CEOs in the direction that I'm a standpoint, which will involve speaking engagements and as well as working with the corporations to get them out of but feel free to connect or contact me if you need something in the IT arena. I have a wealth of contacts that I can possibly help you with. I'm Don Champlin.
Thank you. Dehira.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Dara Patel, and I'm looking for business analyst, product support analyst, or application support analyst, or project coordinator roles. Right now, my target companies are Fidelity or Gartner in Irving. Although since I can fit in several roles or titles, and I don't target any companies, but I believe Gartner and Fidelity because I've applied for several roles over there. I have contacts in telecom I can provide. And again, my name is Dara Patel.
Thank you. Daniel.
Hi, my name is Daniel Morse. I'm looking for jobs in strategy and/or leadership in technology or management consulting. Not really targeting any specific companies right at the moment, and I don't have a huge contact network. This is my first time here. I also reside in Naples, Florida, unlike most of you in Texas. My name is Daniel Morse.
Thank you, Daniel. Casey. Casey, we can't hear you. We see your mic's on, but nothing's coming over. All right, let's keep going. Bindu.
Hello all. My name is Bindu Challapalli. I am seeking leadership roles in data engineering and analytics space. My target companies right now are Snowflake, Deloitte, and PH Data. I have contacts at Blue Shield, and my name is Bindu Challapalli.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Good morning, everyone, on this overcast morning. My name is Jeanette Bailey, and I am a teamwork and customer satisfaction champion across multiple spaces. I am looking for an administrative support position. I am targeting the city of Plano, the city of Frisco, and actually also the city of Carrollton. I have contacts at pretty limited spaces because those companies have shuttered their doors. So please connect with me on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Jeanette Bailey.
Audrey. Audrey. All right. Did I miss anybody?
Can I
I
go?
think I got my mic working.
Yes, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Casey Cockrell. I'm looking for director or VP or C-level of operations related to manufacturing and IT and digital transformation. I'm looking for contacts at Shield AI, Raytheon Collins, and Emerson, and I have an HR contact at Toyota. Thank you. I'm Casey Cockrell.
Thank you, Casey. Michael?
Hello, my name is Michael Wilk. I'm looking for a senior quality engineer position. My target companies are Encore Wire, SNC, and Collins. I have contacts at L3 Harris in Greenville. My name is Michael Wilk. Thank you.
Did I miss anybody else online? Were the couple people who came in late y'all wanna come on up and we have a few more people in here to. Nope, you gotta turn it on.
Hey everyone, I'm Carrie Padilla. I'm looking for an IT project manager job. I need contacts at, well, I don't know yet. I have contacts at nowhere, and my name is Carrie Padilla.
She used to work at Neiman Marcus.
I did, with David here.
Good morning and happy Good Friday. My name is Jason Irish. I'm a financial services professional. I am an avid networker and connector. Let me connect you to someone else or to a solution. My name is Jason Irish.
Hey, good morning. I'm Jason Nixon, IT Director, background in networking and digital products. I am looking for another director or above leadership role, either in industry or tech consulting. I'm really looking for just a contact at Gartner and Toyota at the moment. I have contacts at PwC and Epsilon. My name is Jason Nixon.
Good morning, all. I am Muthukumar Ganesan. I'm IT Director, IT Infrastructure, Service Delivery, IT, some management role I've been looking on. I'm looking for the similar positions. Target companies, I would say entity data and any MSPs. Yeah. I don't have much contact, I think. Thank you, Muthu.
Thank you. All right. Just got everybody. Yep, that's great. All right, let's see here. Any job leads? Anybody have job leads they would like to share? No? All right, we'll keep on going. Oh, hold on. Yep, come grab the mic.
It is not really a job lead, but I'm just observing that Fidelity, Charles Schwab's, and Coforge, they have a lot of opening these days. A lot. Just Coforge is taking over Sabre. So I've realized that they have a lot of openings. Just information.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's hear from Walt Glass and the Interview Success Workshop.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see your face today. Now, if you can see mine, it's good to see you in person, Miguel. I see you, David. Same thing for you. It's great to see you here. All right. My name is Walt Glass, and I help people gain confidence and skills in successful job interviews. Would you all agree that the interview is a selling situation? And so how many of us are thinking about selling during the interview? Or are we thinking about please God, help me answer these questions. You know, one of those two. So the whole workshop is free. Look me up on LinkedIn, my About section. If you want to connect with me, send me an email. And you say, well, Walt, I can't send you an email. I don't know your email address. Well, then you haven't looked at my banner page on LinkedIn because it's right there. So that's how I connect with you. Send me a note if you can't send it via the LinkedIn message. So what's the workshop about? It's free and it's informal. It's a learning experience. It's not a mock interview. We're going to cover the 12 basic categories of questions, and we're going to look at strategies, options, structures, approaches. The answer depends on who's asking, what the question is, and where you are in the process. And so I was going to put together a workshop, and we're going to memorize the answer to 3,000 questions and hope we hit somewhere in there. And so that wasn't going to work. Be glad to have you participate. So send me an email to that Yahoo email address on my banner page, and I'll be glad to respond to you. It's on Tuesdays, 9 to 11. Right now, I'm waitlisting people. So get on the list. I'm also going to offer a special opportunity for those of you that are on the list as of today. So if you want to participate, let me know. My name is Walt Glass. Do you expect another poem?
Yes.
Well, I expect some of you know them.
Always.
Well, to remove those interviewing fears, we got to get off our rears so the best candidate, we can show them. I'm Walt Glass.
Let's talk about the practice interview team for a second. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. You've got to you've got to practice. You don't want to go in for a real interview and let that be your practice interview. The practice interview team meets right here in this room on Wednesdays from 1 to 3 on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays. Next Wednesday, they will be online only, so you can watch wherever you're at. Don't have to put on your clothes. You can stay in your pajamas and watch the session next Wednesday. They usually have multiple interviews, even on the days they are online. So you'll be able to pick from whichever job interview you'd like to watch. So it's from 1 to 3 o'clock. It's a great way to just watching other people being interviewed. You'll go, oh yeah, I like the way they said that, or you take a lot of really great notes. So join the practice interview team next Wednesday, online only. For more information, you go to dallaspicrew.com. Let's see here. Time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning, Jeff, and good morning, everyone. Happy Good Friday, so to speak, and then definitely happy Easter weekend. All right, give me 1 second here. So this week's tip of the week is kind of bouncing off of last week's presentation about accountability groups. So I'm just kind of continuing on with some additional information. All right. Well, this week's tip of the week is accountability groups, the ultimate job search hack. As a summary to this article, it emphasizes the importance of reassessing job search strategies at the start of 2025, and then advocating for a shift from ineffective methods. And so, hang on a sec. It highlights the benefits of joining an accountability program, supported by data indicating faster hiring times, successful career changes, increased confidence, and higher goal achievement rates for the professionals in such groups. So the success factor, why accountability makes the difference. Well, let's start with what matters most, results. As data consistently shows, 68% faster average time to hire for professionals in accountability groups. 85% of successful career changers credit accountability partnerships as critical to their transition. 80% of professionals in peer accountability groups report increased confidence in their job search, and 95% achieve an achievement rate when specific accountability partners are involved. So some key advantages of accountability groups: real-time market insights. That's access to current job market trends and opportunities. Some constructive feedback. You get improvement of resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and interview skills. Some support and motivation. That's encouragement during setbacks and celebrations of successes. And then professional relationships. You build lasting connections within your industry. So the crucial part is that these results come to those who commit to the process, and then success requires showing up, doing the work, and being serious about your goals. So strategic planning, your roadmap to success. Having trouble talking today. A structured approach to the career development is crucial. A well-designed career checklist can be your roadmap, ensuring no critical steps are overlooked. And when combined with the power of accountability group, it offers first, clear milestones. Break down your career goals into manageable steps. Second, progress tracking. Monitor your advancement and identify areas needing improvement. Third, resource optimization. Allocate your time and energy efficiently. And then fourth, skill gap analysis. Identify and address professional development needs. Now, how do you make it work? Well, your 2025 action plan. Success in today's professional landscape requires both strategy and support. And here's how to make accountability work for you. First, be honest about your current situation. Second, join an accountability group that aligns with your professional goals. Third, customize your job search plan to your specific needs. Fourth, contribute to your group's success by sharing your experiences. And fifth, celebrate progress and adjust strategies as needed. Now, this article concludes that combining accountability groups with a well-defined job search action plan significantly increases the chances of a successful job search plan in 2025. So it encourages readers to explore the CNM accountability group for further support. And the website that it also shows that the CNM ministry is free, so it's free to join. So please make sure that you go to the careernetworkministry.com website under the job search tab, and then under job resources dropdown for additional PDF resources, samples, examples, templates, workbooks, and guides, all on each step of the job search process. And this is just another resource for your job search support. I hope you enjoy the plethora of resources. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Alarm's going off. I hope you enjoy the plethora of resources and tips provided in this week's Career Tip of the Week. Again, accountability groups, the ultimate job search hack. Have a fantastic and happy Easter weekend, everyone.
Rosina, thank you very much. Today for lunch, join us after the meeting. We're to go to Dickey's Barbecue, 4032 Preston Road. It's just north of Parker and just south of Spring Creek. It'll be on the east side of the highway. So come join us at Dickey's Barbecue for lunch. All right, do you want to receive today's material? We will send out an email today or tomorrow with the speaker's presentation, a link to the YouTube channel with today's recording, a copy of the Career Tip of the Week, and a copy of the Zoom chat. So if you're sending links to other people for job leads, it'll be in that Zoom chat. To ensure that you receive the information, if you're here in person, make sure you've either checked your name off on the roster that's up on the table or fill out a new person slip so we can get you added to the contact list. And for those online, please make sure that your email address is in the chat window, and we'll be able to do that. All right, it's time for our main event. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, just please raise your hand or enter your questions into the chat window. Please turn on your video so we can see everybody. We really appreciate that. So today our speaker is Rick Martinez. He's a longtime help to everybody in the job search world. He loves to help all of us the best we can. He owns R2 Technologies, and today he's going to talk about Roast the Recruiter. So Rick, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. Again, during this Holy Easter time frame, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share my presentation here. Hopefully, technology will work for us. And let's get back. And I thank you so much for everyone being here and having a chance. So can everyone see the presentation okay? Does it look all right for everyone?
Yeah, we're seeing both your previews set.
Okay. I wonder if oh, maybe I need to do that first. All right, let me try it one more time. Is that better?
Yes, there we go.
All right. So thank you again, everyone. I appreciate this. I'm going to go ahead and talk a few things about the job market and about hiring trends. And then the majority of the presentation, I'm going to invite everyone here to have specific questions. I know everyone has in a different state, in a different stage of their job search process, or they're looking for direction about a particular approach they may have, feedback that they may have received from a particular job search task or an interview. And hopefully I'll be able to address things in a certain way. And then I'm gonna maybe ask someone, I guess, Jeff, maybe you can watch the chat to see how we coordinate between people that are online and people that are there in the room, that we can make sure we address the questions when we get to that part of the presentation. So, I broke this up into two parts. And the first part, I want to talk about the marketplace. I think that's always kind of interesting for people to hear about things. I know everyone's head down and focused on finding that next job opportunity. I want to spur some thoughts and some direction, perhaps, to maybe assist you or give you additional guidance in areas that maybe you haven't thought about. I think there are a few folks in here that are new to the being in transition. And so this maybe give you some other ideas to add to your particular job plan that you have right now. So let's go over here and see if I can get this. So I have an IT staffing firm. I do both direct hire, contract placements, and statement of work. But I want to explain with you that I also have even though my company is a technology-based placement company, 95% of everything I'm going to be talking to you today is going to be relevant for any job seeker. So, but I do want to just give you an idea about my background so you have an idea of where I'm coming from and my experience and knowledge here in the marketplace. I have a degree in computer science. I worked as an IT pro for about the first 15 years of my company. I get to go into most rooms these days, and I'm the oldest guy there. So that's, at least I'm still active and working. I have a few companies that I've worked for. Some of them you may have heard here in the North Texas area: Texas Instruments, Mobil Oil, Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, and a number of other ones. I've had my own firm for the last 29 years or so. You can see here on the slide the number of places we've done. And my thought is just to give you an alternative, give you some ideas, giving you some concepts. I definitely don't have any issue if you disagree with me, you want to do a different point of view. That's perfectly here. This is not a specific science. This is more of a fluid, flexible type of approach. But my goal, hopefully in these next 45, 50 minutes, is to give you 2 to 3 takeaways that you can go and hang on, put it on a Post-it note or whatever you may have, and add this to what you're doing. That's my entire goal, and that's what my hope is for you today. So let's talk about things. What I like doing is give you an idea of the landscape. And before I used to say, let's talk about the Dallas marketplace. And then I said, well, let's just talk about the Dallas-Fort Worth marketplace. But at this point, I really have now migrated to say North Texas. And it is in North Texas because we also, not only within the obvious of Dallas and Fort Worth, but there's Irving, there's Plano, there's Frisco, there's Alliance Airport, there's Denton, there's Waco. So there's a number of opportunities and a number of different locations that are here within our, what is it, 17 counties of North Texas. And I want to tell you a little bit more about this. So I know you're in transition. I know you're looking to find the next opportunity, but there is some richness about being here in the Texas marketplace. And here's some of the things that you want to think about as you go through your job search. Texas as a state, we have 53 Fortune 500 companies. We are the largest state in the nation with Fortune 500 companies. In North Texas, which has had 175 new corporate headquarters move here in the last 15 years. I'm sorry, to Texas, I should say. 21 of them have moved to North Texas. So those things, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later, but I know some of you are targeting Toyota, targeting Charles Schwab, and targeting McKesson, and a lot of these Fortune 500 companies. I want to suggest to you to expand that radius. True, those companies are having a lot of hiring and are looking at a lot of folks. But guess what? If you are a supplier for these Fortune 500 companies and they have moved to North Texas, what's the thing that you want to do? You want to be close to your top supplier, to your top customer. So these ancillary companies are moving into the area as well. And there's a number of reasons to start looking at those ancillary companies. So again, I'm just going to make this up because not to have specific example, but just say Toyota. Toyota is a large presence here in North Texas. There are countless companies that support Toyota from a supplier standpoint. I want to challenge you to go and find those suppliers, look on their websites, find job openings that they have, connect with those leaders at those suppliers, and try to pursue job opportunities there. A number of different reasons. Toyota has, different jobs and they have different job postings. Well, these suppliers moving here in the area, they also have job openings. That one of the key things is you will have a less competition. Other people are doing the same thing you are. They're applying to Toyota. They're applying to these large companies, and they're not looking at these smaller suppliers. So initially, you'll have a less competition. You'll be an applicant of among in the teens, 10, 12, 15, 18 people, as opposed to 100, 180, 300 people for one particular job. So that's one of the things that I want to share with you there. Just in the past 3 years, some of the bigger companies that have moved into the area are Caterpillar, Charles Schwab. You see their big complex out in South Lake, Goldman Sachs, CBRE. Another thing to think about is there are another 100 companies that are looking to consider to move here to North Texas in the next 1 to 3 years, 18 months to 3 years. And that's a continuing. During COVID, just to give you an example, companies still moved even through that COVID period. So Texas is a rich area, and there's more opportunities for you as a job seeker to look at those type of companies. And I'm also okay if someone may have a question during this time that these next 3 slides, if you want to ask a question as well, I'm perfectly happy to address those as well. So looking at things from a macro standpoint, the U.S. economy is planning to add almost 5 million jobs in the next 7 years. And a lot of those jobs are going to happen here in North Texas. More specifically, when I took this, when I was preparing for this presentation, there's over 600,000 open jobs right now in North Texas. And that's across all industries, all professions, all types of skill sets. And that's also blended with professional or exempt and non-exempt jobs. So over 500,000 jobs right now. And then for those of us that are technology focused, just in North Texas, there are over 21,000, close to 22,000 open IT jobs. So yes, your work maybe cannot for you to try to find that opportunity for you to transition to the next position, but there are plenty of things out there. There are plenty of opportunities. Some of the areas that companies are hiring right now are some of the obvious things that all of you are aware of. You know, the web and the mobile technologies, cloud technologies, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data science, as well as applications development and infrastructure. So a lot of times when I meet with someone for coffee, when I have someone with lunch, even when I'm meeting with clients, the first thing or one of the first questions they ask you, so what's hot? What is an area that is highly sought after, people hiring here in the marketplace? And the answer is all of the above. You know, depending upon what company you're talking to, what industry you're in, these blended technologies are all across the board. I would tend to imply that even other types of professions, whether you're in the accounting, the finance, the marketing, could find some similar things. So we're in a rich job, a rich area, and don't be discouraged that you can't find a job. Hopefully, I'm going to share with you some other ideas that you can look for, that you can pursue in addition to what you're doing now. So that's the key thing there. So my whole point is, you are in transition. You are looking for that new opportunity, but the bucket is full. There are a number of things out there. If you do the things that this group, that Jeff, that Walt, um, share with you, that they encourage you, that they nag you to do, are hardly the things that you wanted. There you go, Jeff. I do see the smile. And but if you execute, if you go and execute those plans, you will be able to find that opportunity and get yourself out of transition. So let's talk about a little bit more about North Texas. So we have climbed to be in the #3 metropolitan area for technology jobs. So again, that's a blended area. What I just showed you right now is across all types of technologies, all different areas in there. I'm sure this is obvious. The next thing people ask was, well, what industry is oil and gas hot? Is financial services and banking? Is it construction? Please help me. And the answer is, again, we have ever since the telecom bust in the 90s. We were very heavy telecom. North Texas has developed in a very robust, balanced industry sector. And right now, all the different industries are growing and looking for new job seekers. But to give you an idea, is that some of the areas that are seeing some higher interests are leisure and hospitality. I believe someone mentioned it, and I wasn't aware. Sabre just got acquired and is looking to hire a bunch of new people. That's leisure and hospitality. Professional services, so people are talking about Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, Gardner and such. That falls into the business services area. And then construction. I mean, you get on the highway and drive, and what do you see? You see cranes, you see construction, you see both commercial and residential types of buildings being built, all those things. So my point is don't just go to a job board and don't just start putting in some keywords and start your search. Some of the folks that said, I don't have any key focus. I don't, you need to get that plan in place. You need to start determining where you want to focus your job search. Go look, okay, construction. Go look into Austin Industries. Go look in Belfort and look at positions there and be more targeted in your job search because they're hiring as opposed to just going. And I'm like everyone else, I'm going to be another person to tell you job boards aren't going to be the best opportunity, but looking for specific companies and connecting through the networking. The big thing about Career Focus Group is they give you techniques, they give you ideas, they give you the reason why networking is the best overall way to find the next job to get you into the next role that you can move forward with in your career. So let's take a step now and talk about economic trends. And again, these economic trends, I'm not an economist. I'm not someone that has a crystal ball or a magic wand. These are just things that I see. And again, these are a little bit slanted, a little bit toward North Texas. Anytime you want to turn on the news, and which I encourage you as a job seeker, do it very little, is to companies are hiring more temporary workers. Those of you that have heard me speak before, I always ask the question, how many here are looking for a permanent job? And the answer is there are no permanent jobs. There are only full-time jobs and there are contract positions. There are no permanent jobs. So I want to, if you haven't done this, if you haven't considered this, I want to highly encourage you to look at contract positions. Look at these temporary roles. And these temporary roles for a number of reasons. Number one, it takes out a gap in your resume. It shows you that you're engaged and employed. Number two, it increases your skill set into something that you possibly weren't doing in a previous job. Number three, it also shows that temporary workers are the first ones to become aware of full-time positions as they are identified within a company. When you work for a company, you know that most jobs, when they are first defined and they're approved, the first thing that happens is they go on the company's internal website. When you are a temporary worker, you have access to that temporary website. You can now see those job positions opened up. You actually can see the hiring manager. You can go and make a connection with that person. You can go, hopefully, maybe walk down the hall and introduce yourself, or at least have know find their company email address and make an introduction that you're working on this project in this department, and they see you already have a company ID, and you have a better chance of talking to them about that role. So again, that's one of my little preaching points to talk about is please encourage yourself to start looking at temporary positions. Those freelancer positions, we all of as a marketplace, we've seen a rise of 11% in their marketplace value, meaning more and more companies are using temporary workers right now because of the and because of that, their revenue is going up as overall as a part of the industry sector. And then other thing that we see from an economic trend is that when companies are interviewing, when they're looking at adding to their internal or to their companies, they're looking for people that have utilized AI in part of their job position. And since maybe if you're in transition, you haven't had a chance, that doesn't mean you still can't look into that. You can still be aware of it. You can use AI for some of the things that you're looking for as in transition as well, just so that you don't say, oh, I know of it, but I haven't done anything about it. The goal is to find ways and be creative in the things that you do and that you're performing, that you can become somewhat knowledgeable on the AI platform. And then lastly, because of the tariffs and the economic situation and the changes in the government sector, we do believe that there will be a rebound of or the pendulum is going to swing back more to the middle. So there will be government agencies that will be looking for external help, probably in third and fourth quarter, or I should say in first quarter of next year. That it may be another area to consider and to look into there. So those are some of the things that I think are hopefully are interesting for you. My biggest soapbox item here is please consider looking at temporary jobs. I have a whole nother presentation talking about contract work, but I just want to hopefully give you a thought process there. All right, let's now talk about hiring trends. Let's talk about things that I'm seeing from customers, from clients that we're performing our services to, and what they're telling us. All right. Of course, the natural thing is where they can, they're trying to find where they can develop and identify US-based talent as opposed to overseas talent. So that's just something that we're seeing for because of these some of the high tariff countries. They're trying to find creative ways to bring that work back here to the US. Recruiters, especially on the talent acquisition side, they're seeing these repeatable, everyone trying to be smart and use AI to create that perfect cover letter. But they're just seeing identical cover letters now from these individuals. And, you think you're being smart and using AI to be able to show and highlight your skills. Hopefully the takeaway is I want to encourage you to continue to use this as a practice. I definitely think that's something that'd be helpful when I write the cover letter, but please go and change it some. rearrange the paragraph, emphasize something differently, expand upon what AI has created in the cover. Don't just use it verbatim and think that you can pat yourself on the back and say, boy, am I smart, because people are seeing that. And the other thing is that I guess before I move on to this next bullet, companies are now using some sort of coding evaluation, but they also see many times people having a keyboard that they are raising their cameras high, so the people they think the interviewer doesn't hear them typing on the keyboard. They ask the interviewer to repeat the question because the AI tool is listening to the question to give a response, and companies are being more aware of that. I don't imply that anyone's doing that, but that's what companies are seeing that. And actually on the staffing side, we see that quite a bit. We see people that are on 2 Zoom calls and they're interviewing, and then the other Zoom person is giving them the answers so they can repeat. So again, I'm just sharing with you things that the talent acquisition companies are having to address. And the reason I highlight this last bullet, remember I talked about the vendors to these Fortune 500 companies? Those are the smaller firms. They actually have a higher percentage of unfilled positions than the Toyotas and the American Airlines and the other big companies that are out there. And they've been seeing this trend for the last 6 months or so. So again, my point is, if you find those suppliers, you find those smaller companies, please add that to a part of your transition work plan to pursue those opportunities and go that. So, all right, and then again, I apologize. I don't always have good news. My goal is to just give you information, and my thought is to just have you be aware of this so that you aren't just as surprised when you see these things. We are seeing, not so much with staffing firms, because staffing firms are to get their revenue from a placement fee that is paid by the hiring company. But when companies are hiring directly, we do see a reduction in salary. If you are making 100K at the company you're working with, you may, and you go through whatever number of interviews that are required for a job offer, you may only get an offer at 95K, 92K. I wish I could give you a better explanation. Companies are just doing this for the reasons that they need to do it. And here's my response to you. And again, you may not agree with this, but it is the reality of today. My response is to, if that job and that opportunity is something that you want to pursue because of your life needs, or the fact that you think that it's a good role, or it was something that you want to do. My point is, that doesn't mean you have to stop looking. That doesn't mean you have to plan on staying there 3, 5, 7 years. You know what? Companies recognize that they may only have someone for 6 months to a year because that person will actually find another opportunity that will pay them competitively to what the person is realistic for. So again, my only point is to tell you, don't be surprised if you go through the whole process and you've told them all along, hey, Mr. Hiring Manager, I've been making 100K, and 100K is kind of what I'm looking for. Of course, I'd like to get 105, 110, and they come back with a 95K offer. And I just want you to think about how that may be a scenario for you to address. So that's just what we see.
We've got a couple questions that popped up. Kathy's asking, can you expand on the AI typing thing? I don't quite understand what you were talking about.
Okay, so a simple way, I'll just use technology as an example. The question would be, how do you do a reverse rotation of a table in Python? And the person's typing in a ChatGPT or in a Google search bar, they say, define for me a reverse table rotation. And they type that question into Google, and Google comes back with a response, and they read the response back to the interviewer. So they don't know the answer. They don't say, I haven't had the opportunity to use that function. I'm not sure. I'm sure I can learn it. They type it all in, and then they wait for the screen to come back with an answer, and then they just read verbatim what Google says. That's what I mean by that.
All right, let's see here. Where do you find the jobs for those smaller companies? What's the best place to, if the companies that are helping CBRE or,
Sure.
or how do you find?
There's 3 to 5 ways. The easiest, and let's just look at the easiest, simplest way is, and again, I'll just use Toyota, is to go to Toyota's annual report. Toyota will have their report and it has all kinds of metrics in there, all kinds of initiatives that they're doing, all the successes that they have, and they also highlight 2 to 3 vendors that say because of the ability for this vendor to increase our supply of bolts, we are now able to produce another 5% of SUVs or electronic vehicles in this way, or maybe it's batteries or something. So then you go and you look at that company, that battery company. Oh, wait a minute, they just opened an office here in Carrollton. Let's go and look at their website. Oh, look at that, they have a position for a project manager. I can apply, and that's one of the simplest ways or so. Some of the other things you just have to start doing some research is to just go out and do Google searches on that, and also AI. AI is a perfect example for doing that. I love using the example, or the thought is, well, how'd you find us? Oh, I went and used AI to determine the top 5 vendors, and you are the highest rater because of reviews of a battery supplier for Toyota. And that's why, oh, wow, so you're actually smart more than just going to a career builder and trying to do a search for us. So that is, there's other ways, like you're writing a research paper, you have to go and figure that out. But the 2 best ways that are simplest is the annual report, and then going ahead and just looking at those suppliers and see who moves into town from that. Sometimes the Dallas Business Journal, when they are, it's a great opportunity for checking to see who has announced that they're moving to North Texas. And then sometimes in their article, and XYZ company is moving to North Texas because they are supplying American Airlines with their new braking system. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Well, there's a chance for you to do that. So, and the Dallas Business Journal, I'm not saying you have to go and do a subscription to them. The local libraries usually have copies of that, or if you don't, you can ask them that because they should have one. But I've seen them in the Plano libraries in the past as well. So that's how I'd answer that. Those are great questions. I'm glad you brought those up because that's such key. I would hope people would go and do that more often.
All right.
All right.
Dahara, I see you've got your hand up.
Yes. Hey, Rick, I'm going to trace back to your statement about when candidates type in the question in Google and use that answer in the interview. So there have been times when I just go blank and I don't know what to answer. So in your experience, or excuse me, in your is it okay to say I don't have the answer at this moment? Or is it an acceptable answer? Because instead of just giving out the wrong answer, I just want to know your opinion. What do you think about it?
Oh yeah, and Jeff can answer this as well as I can. The first thing, it's always okay to say, "Gosh, I'm a little nervous. I haven't interviewed in 15 years. I haven't interviewed in a year. Please accept me as I go ahead and because I have to just be honest, I'm a bit anxious." And the second thing, of course, never lie. Okay, but the best thing is, but also I don't want to. We always coach our candidates to say, and the pit crew, which is the bottom line, is the pit crew is the best way to prepare for that. But the point is not to lie, but let's again use an example where you haven't had it. Let's instead of going blank, say you've never done something, or there's something that you haven't acknowledged it. We always coach our candidates to say, "Nope, never done that. Don't have a clue." We don't want candidates to say that. We want them to say, "I haven't had the opportunity to use that task, that function, that role, that process. But I have learned other things in this way." And then go ahead and parlay it to another area where I was thrown into this role. I had this kind of deadline. I had to learn on my own. I was able to research it. That way they know you're not afraid to learn and that you know that learning is a part of a continuous process of your job. But again, back to the pit crew is a perfect example because like anything else, interviewing takes practice. and it's okay and preparation is the best way to handle those the times where you just go blank. And the second thing is to just say to talk about where you maybe not have done that, but you've done something else. And then lastly is if I can't tell you how many times people hang up the phone or they walk out of an interview and they say, "Oh, I should have answered it this way. Oh, I forgot about that." Right? You have that acknowledge and come back when you're sitting in the car or driving home. That's the best time to have that follow-up thank you note and say, "Oh, by the way, when we talked about this, I mentioned I didn't really think thoroughly, but here are some other things that address that exact point." And that's your recovery mechanism to see if you can get back and still address the part that you thought you may have could have done a little bit better. That's what I
Thank
would
you.
say there.
Thank you. Great answer. Thank you so much.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for the questions. All right. Last few things on hiring trends. So hopefully I've been dovetailing it all. Try, I hope people don't just think if I apply 10 to 10 jobs on Google or on one of these job boards, they're all going to come running and knocking on my door. First of all, I'm sure Jeff and Walt and everyone is suggesting network is the best way and LinkedIn is the key way to do it. But here's some more tactical, specific reasons why I want you to get away from these mega, ZipRecruiter and these mega job boards. When you do an apply through a career builder, through a ZipRecruiter, out of those applicants, only 3% ever get an interview request. 3%. So my goal is to give you a couple of pieces of information of why you should not be applying as your only mechanism to get a new job. Here's the biggest thing. Companies have said that they get over 60% of their applicants from these job boards, from these mega boards. And yet, look at the thing in red. Less than 1% of them get hired. So if you think you are doing the best job possible and all you're doing is going to these job boards and uploading your resume and all, that's going to be one of the biggest wastes of your time. Now, as a job seeker, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, hopefully I've given you at least a half a dozen ideas of what to do. And since you're here in this networking group, they're telling you every week techniques to do. So please listen. That's the best way. But here's what, again, this is tactical, specific reasons why just don't use those job boards as your primary or even or your only way or your primary way because you're just battling on that. And then lastly, a company may have one particular opening for a particular job, and look at that. They get close to 200 applicants. And that's 200 people that probably are mostly qualified, but that's your battle to try to be the one that's selected. So again, my whole point of these hiring trends of this particular slide is to demonstrate to you tactical information that we go and identify and see on why the techniques that Jeff and his crew is trying to share with you are the best ways to move forward to get hired. So those are the key things there. And then what we are all saying, and again, you would think that I'm being a career connection info commercial for you, but companies are now looking to doing some sort of assessment as part of their interview process. Before, companies would just do interviews and have a dialogue and have maybe ask you a couple questions of how to perform a particular process. Now they are actually, we see a big spike in these testing apps and these testing systems that identify and qualify a particular person, whether they're a project manager or a Java developer or an accountant or whatever, a compliance officer. There's some sort of testing involved. And even though, you can't really practice a whole lot for that, the PIT crew is a great opportunity for you at least have an opportunity to get those presented to you so you can start thinking about those things. And they're doing that because of the fact that people are just are just finding other ways to circumvent the interview process to try to find a way that they're going to get hired. So, and again, like Jeff said, my presentations they have you can it'll be sent to you, and so you can look at and reference these points as well. But those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. And my whole thought is for you to again challenge yourself and look at yourself. Is the steps that you're doing the most value based? That are the highest quality that will get you the best value to get that interview, to get that next job. And hopefully these few slides here will help demonstrate and validate some of the things that are a little bit harder to do, but will give you the best impact, the best value to move forward in finding that job. So those are the big things I wanted to share. Again, so as we go into this next part, I'm open for everybody's and question that you have. I'll be for the first to admit that I don't know everyone's answer. I can't. I won't be able to explain exactly what a approach may be from a particular response that we have, but I definitely can give you the insights from the experience that I have and the answers that I have from my running our business, running my placement firm and my team with working with companies here in North Texas. So, who wants to be starting up our discussion?
A couple questions have popped up. Bindu asked, what are some common practical assessments that we can expect? Is Glassdoor still a reliable source to find those?
Well, I'm not familiar with Glassdoor's offering. Glassdoor that we're familiar with is maybe other folks are ranking and rating of companies and how they are to work for. So I don't know. I don't know any products that are easily accessible in a trial or free basis. Some use whiteboards. Some use a problem solution that you got to answer these 5 questions, and each question builds on or each answer builds on the previous question. And others are more things like read this and tell me what's wrong with it, or read this and tell me what is this trying to do, and what are the impacts and what are the positive and negatives. So it's too broad to give you one specific type of way. The only thing that I can suggest is be aware going into the final rounds of interview. That's more than often one of the steps. And the last thing you want to do is be blindsided. You know, you're there, I'm ready to talk. I know it's going to be a panel discussion. Next thing, oh, we need you to stand up here in the front of the whiteboard in front of these 12 people and walk through a design exercise. Well, yeah, it's a little unnerving, but it's even more unnerving if you didn't even know that you're going to have to do that. Now, the only other thing I can add is that working with a recruiter, whether it's a talent acquisition recruiter, a corporate recruiter inside the company, or a staffing firm, ask them to guide you through those steps, and they'll be able to tell you, okay, yeah, typically we do that. It's going to be in the second interview, or it's the third interview, or sometimes they do it before they even start the interview process, just to see if the person is qualified enough to ask for people's time away. So I'm sorry, it's too broad of an answer, but those are the things that we see in the marketplace.
Kathy asked, is there any way to practice for those tests?
Yeah. So the 2 things to do is, again, the pit crew is one way. The second way is going to be talking to a peer from your previous company. If you think that, typically most of us are looking, if we've been working in the financial services, we're looking at talking to other banks. And so talking to possibly a person from your previous company, say, hey, I have an interview. They say it's going to be a technical test. What do you think would be some of the things they would ask, and put together yourself? There may be something out there. My recruiters and my recruiting team looks more into those things. I can ask them. If I find something out, I'll definitely come back and share. I don't know if other ways. The other thing is, as you go through these interview sessions, hopefully, don't ever go through one interview track. Hey, company ABC wants to interview me, and you stop all your other job search tasks. But hopefully the goal is to have concurrent interviews going on at different times, and that's another great way to be practicing on those things.
Great, thank you, Rick. Penn, go ahead.
Yeah, to follow up on that, Rick, I had 2 interviews this week. with two different companies. They were first interviews, so you're meeting with the head recruiter within the company, but they were very upfront in saying that as this process goes, you will have either one company, it's an assignment to do for them, and the other one stated that they have a series of personality type tests that they want you to take. So it's a question you can ask up front when you're having your first interview is, do you have any tests like that? And they'll usually tell you, at least my experience right now has been, they'll tell you what those are should you get to that stage of the interview process. And then if you take that's a demarcation line for them, because if you won't take the test, then you're off the list. So you don't get forward with it. So it's one of those things that's there. It's not anything you really prepare for, but it's something they set on up that they have internally that, again, is a screening tool that they use. So.
And I guess the last thing to bring up is sometimes they're not always technical tests. Sometimes they're more cultural fit tests, especially as smaller companies. They say, here are these three colors, and then here's the next color. Which is the next color you'd pick? Oh, well, what's the answer to that? But for whatever reason, they have some sort of mechanism that determines that most people pick green after those four colors, and that's what they're looking for. So, yeah, so there are all kinds. Like you said, there could be technical, there could be personality, there could be culture. We have one company, one client that if we just take it because it adds us, we want to create a company portfolio, company profile, and it's not a pass or fail. We just want to know where you fit. So again, that they all are not always evaluating. Some of them are just capturing your particular personality.
Dahora, I see your hand up.
I'm going to piggyback on Bindu's question about what kind of assessments may be coming our way. So I recently interviewed for Signal, and they were looking for a detail-oriented person. So test something like, how would you plan a vacation? So the interviewer wanted to see some detail-oriented items. And then, like you said, Rick, that they gave me some data and they wanted me to check what's wrong with it. A couple of examples. So yeah, I think that's something, if it helps, Bindu.
Thank you. Yep.
Yes, I would like to share my own experience based on what I've learned here in the Southwest Focus Group. Combine all those learning, AI is a good tools to use. Generally, when I'm going to the interview, I will go to the AI and base my resume and job description and ask to generate technical question, answer, a behavioral question, and sometimes assessment question as well. And along with the answer, what I do in those cases, I sit down, read those, train myself. And generally, I get some of those questions or similar questions come up during the interview. And that's helpful. And those are the things that coming here and as SFJ, I learn about how to mingle all these tools and use mainly AI to build to get ready for an interview.
Here, I got a question or response.
Great plan.
I'd like to add to the AI thing, and I've mentioned this in other groups before, and some of you guys have already done this, and that is that in addition to the technical questions, you can upload your resume and also your job description to, in this case, I use ChatGPT, and then use the audio mode, the verbal mode, and just give it instruction that you're interviewing for this job. It's a first level interview, second level interview, panel interview, whatever, wherever you are. And then have it ask you questions. Tell it, you are the interviewer, you are the hiring manager for this role. I want you to start asking questions, relevant 10 questions, give it some framework. Maybe you want the first question to be, tell me about yourself, which is usually the first question. And I want you to listen to my responses and give me a score, 1 to 10, 10 being the best, on how you feel my questions were. And in my case, ChatGPT would come back at the end of your response and say, you have an 8.6, and here's how I improve it verbally. So you can use ChatGPT as your interviewer audibly.
I have two comments.
And you next. You know, sometimes people may have specific questions from a job search that they're pursuing at one particular point.
You can, but you can just do your research on that and see how many times like you can use it, like as they, because I think there you can do a certain number of times for free. I forget all the details on it, but that's one that's there as well. And second, you can I would highly recommend you check out the YouTube channel called A Life After Layoff. Again, it's called A Life After Layoff because I know some people had questions about, assessments and things like that. You may actually, because I was on A Life After Layoff, the guy on there, he has over 2 decades of experience on that side, on the recruiter side of the desk, and he'll talk about things like assessments and many other job search related topics from a perspective of someone that's been there for a long time. So that's just some things I wanted to add, and I especially wanted to share that A Life After Layoff YouTube channel for those that are new and probably don't know about it. Thanks.
One additional point on the, not so much the assessments, but the case study interviews. There are a lot of resources out there. You look on YouTube channels, especially, and certain websites. You can oftentimes find frameworks or best practices to handle those. And like anything else, it's utilize frameworks because they're mostly measuring your thought process and how you solve problems more than a particular answer you give. So having those frameworks can be helpful, and the other tips along the way.
All right. Questions for Rick? Anything else for Rick?
What is frameworks, Jeff? The audio's been cutting in and out, so.
Oh, sorry about that.
Frameworks would be like similar when like the STAR framework, right? That everyone uses for interviews. There are frameworks you can use to size up problems for case studies in terms of how for different types of problems they give you, where, how do you, grow revenue here? What common business scenarios that they may give you. So there's steps that you can follow to show logical thought process, because that's mostly what they're evaluating, is how you think.
Okay, let me go down a different path, and hopefully this may be something that's helpful for you all as well. Sometimes people ask, well, how do I know what is my contract rate? How do I know if I look at temporary jobs, contract positions, what do I start? I'm new to this, I don't understand. And so let me take a minute and talk about this for those of you that want to benchmark. So let's say you make 100K, and I'm doing this for simple math. So 100K in simplest terms is about 50 an hour. And what that means is if those of you that are project managers know that in a typical work year, that's 2,080 hours. Well, 2,080 is harder to do to math on, but 2,000 hours. So if you take $100,000 divided by 2,000 hours, you get $50 an hour. Now, that is just a compensation wage. Now, all of us have healthcare, and we also have training, and we also have some other things. So what we tell people to do is add 20% of that, whatever it is. If you make 200K, then it's 100 an hour. If you make 100K, it's 50 an hour. You make 50K, it's 25 an hour. Add 10% of that. So again, using my example of 100K, you're making 50 an hour equates to that. Then you add 20% for what I call benefits or overhead. So that's another $10. So when you talk to a recruiter, when you talk to a firm, when they ask you what is your contract rate, if you want to stay comparable to that 100K, you would say $60 an hour. And that $60 is the $50 an hour for your wage. And then the other $10 an hour goes for helping pay your health care and such. And that's just a general benchmark to start with. And then that way the recruiter can say, okay, well, this one pays between 55 and 65 an hour. Oh, okay, great. We're right in the part. Oh, I'm sorry. This one only pays 40 to 50 an hour. Well, then you can say, wow, that's, less than what I was making, but at least you know how much less and you have a better idea. So again, you can use all kinds of formulas and do all kinds of things, but I just wanted to give you a starting point and a simple benchmark so that my point is I don't want to turn everyone into a contract worker, but I do want to make sure that as you start pursuing, hopefully, and looking at contract and opportunities, you know what your worth is in contract dollars. So that's a general area. And if the person goes like, oh, this pays between 70 and 75 an hour, wow, well then you're doing well. Then you definitely want to pursue this contract role that you may not have looked for in other ways. So hopefully that helps some of you. Hopefully that's something that there. And again, that simple math is just a way for you to kind of figure things out. And that's what my whole team uses for the last 20 plus years, and it's worked well for everybody.
Rick, Phil happened to ask, are these figures for W-2 or 1099 employees?
That's W-2.
What's the main difference between what is really the main difference between W2 and 1099 contract?
The main difference is that with a 1099, that is a IRS label or term that means that the individual that is being paid has to pay all of their taxes. When you work for Southwest Airlines, when you work for Caterpillar and you're an employee, you see your paycheck and you get your withholdings, you see your FICA, you see your Medicare, you see some other deductions on there. Your employer is paying that same percentage directly to the government. So usually it's like 7.5% on each side. So as a W-2 employee, when you can get a contract position where they will pay you W-2 and the tax relationship is the same. The company will withhold your taxes, pay your FICA, pay their half of the FICA. When you do 1099, you as an individual are now responsible for paying both sides of that federal obligation. So going back to my simple math example on a 100K wage worker, remember I told you it was $50 an hour, that's W-2. Then you add 20%, that makes it $60 an hour W-2. To equate to that, to pay the entire tax burden, instead of $50 an hour, now it's 55. And then you add your 20%. So now you're looking at for 65 an hour so it'll be 65 an hour 1099 or 60 an hour W-2. Math wise, those all equate the same, except for as a 1099, you gotta now make quarterly taxes to your wonderful IRS and in order to stay out of trouble.
That's a really good question because I paid the price for that about 10 years ago when I became a 1099 for a company and was told it was going to become permanent, didn't pay attention to it, went 6 months, and then at the end of the year went to do taxes, and suddenly I was like, oh my God. So
not a good surprise.
Very, very aware of when you're doing that because it gets
Yeah.
very easy to say, wow, look at this big check I got, not to think about 25% of it or whatever it is you need to put off to the side so you can pay Uncle Sam. Rick, I do have a question for you in terms of what you were talking about with salaries now tending to look a little bit lower than what you might have expected to get on that. How do you go about it? Number one, is it worth it to try to negotiate that back up to where you're at, or will that automatically tell the company, see you later, bye, and you won't have the job offer on that? And if you are negotiating on that, how hard should you push or not push on that?
And yes, now I can give you some guidelines and some frameworks, but I can't give you a specific formula or example. First of all, as you start the dialogue, one of the questions should be, what are you looking for? What are you targeting? And then they also may ask, here in Texas, we can, what were you making? And then and of course, sometimes companies will move forward depending on what the criteria is. So to answer your question, it never hurts to ask, as long as you ask in a kind, professional way. If you ask with a line drawn in the sand, it's going to have a different reaction. You say, I was making this. I know that I was making 100K and the offer is at 90. Do you think there's any flexibility or anything that we can do? And that first dialogue usually could be with the recruiter, because the recruiter is going to be your facilitator. They'll say, you know what, the salary range is this way, and the mid mark is here. We haven't seen it happen. I say, you know what, sometimes the manager has some flexibility, and let me go talk to him. So so it's a dialogue. Hopefully, you've had some you've built some relationship with the company to have that. And again, you're just asking from a reason. The second thing is to have again to negotiate from information. Based upon Mr. Hiring Manager, Mr. HR Recruiter, based upon my research, for this position with 10 to 15 years of experience, the marketplace pays this particular salary. I'm looking in that kind of range. That's what I'm looking for. Well, where did you go? I went to salary.com. I went to dice.com. I went to cnm.salary.com. And all of a sudden, I started explaining, not that you're just pulling in this out of the air, but here's the research that I did. Now, you and I, from the other side, from the hiring side, we probably would all agree that a luxury car is, the best quality car, but not all of us have the budget to go and buy a Lexus or a BMW or something like that, and we have to drive our Chevy or our Ford. So regardless of how much experience and how much knowledge you have, that the budget may be the budget. So as long as, so the bottom line, as long as you have a dialogue and just share your expectations based upon an information-based dialogue, most of the time people don't withdraw the offer. The time they withdraw it, they ask for some more money, then they ask for more vacation, then they ask for working from home, then they ask for, oh, plus I need a pet daycare, which we have heard that. That's when all of a sudden you get frustration from the hiring managers. That's the way I would suggest doing things.
Rick,
Very much.
Rick, you talked about we should have those negotiations with the HR person or with the hiring manager.
Typically, we see the HR as a nice advocate at first, because they are a little buffer to tell you whether what you're asking for is within reach or not. And plus, they also see some experience that what has happened within the company in these type of situations. Sometimes if you go straight to the hiring manager, they may, no manager ever gets fired for not hiring somebody, right? Managers get fired for missing deadlines, for spending too much, or something like that. So the HR person, that's a little bit more their expertise. So most of the time, I mean, again, I use the word most. That's what we see. Even from a placement standpoint, we usually go to HR first and tell them, I know we talked about this, but now this is what they need. And they'll go, okay, let me go find it out. That's usually the best way.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Hi, I'm Muthu. Actually, this strategy will works only for the full-time jobs, for the bigger companies, like a salary bandwidth they'll give. Then once you get an opportunity after crossing a level of interview, there is a chance for the discussion for the salary negotiation and between that range. But whereas in the contract position, the initial stage itself, they talk about all that contract rate for the confirmation, something like that. They'll freeze the number. You stick with 55 or 60 or whatever it is. You need to give the rate confirmation. The moment you give the rate confirmation, there may not be a much negotiation. That's what my thought. But if you are very much strict on that, no, I need a 70 or 65, whatever the number higher, then we may not get the interview itself. So the current trend is kind of a supply is more than demand. So a lot of skills available in the market. even we cannot too much demand or to match exact one or number, whatever in our mind. So we are end up into the initial stage itself to get negotiated, stick to that number on the contract jobs. So these are the scenario. Okay, what do you think about it?
I mean, generally, you're right. Again, let's say we have a highly talented person that's a contract. Guess what? They're interviewing multiple places, and multiple people have interest in them. And one company decides, okay, you had a rate at 70 an hour. I'm ready to pull the trigger. Can you come start? Oh, hey, Mr. Manager, he just had two other offers. He really likes your company, but he really needs 75 an hour. A lot of times that still could happen. You can't go back. We talked about 7. He really needs 100 an hour. No, that's not going to happen. So no, we have seen it happen on the contract as well. It just depends on the client and where they are and with the pricing of things and how well the person did in their interview side. So
So you mean
again,
to say, for example, you get a multiple offer, then you can go back saying that, okay, I got this 70 an hour, so why don't you match it? I'm interested in this job position in your company, something like that. Is it okay to
yeah.
that?
But again, it's the delivery. You can't say, why don't you match it? You want to say, I am interested in the role. Is there any chance that you can also meet the 70 an hour? Again, the way that you say things is a big way of how it's going to be received. Think about it. Why don't you match it? And maybe you'll be lucky enough to have me, or hey, I really want to work here. I got this offer at 75. Can you meet that offer at 75? Those are two different ways that it's going to be perceived.
Okay. Technically speaking, we are just going above that whatever we committed. The return rate for the confirmation we said, they say that I'm okay for 65. Now I'm going back saying, I got other offer. Why don't you come down to match my expectation? Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Right,
It's just make sure you have that other offer. You can't be bluffing.
right. I understand. Thank you.
Anybody else have a question for Rick? Anybody online?
I don't have a question for Rick, but I wanted to step back to the testing and assessments, Rick. I've been in those situations, and I go in very prepared when I'm going into the corporation. I want to know exactly what's going on in there that would generate the interest to bring me in, because many times when I've been asked, can you do this? They're trying to nail down exactly what their deficiency is and trying to see if they can build some information out because of the nature of my own background and what I've done in the past as a industry expert in several areas around IT. So that is something you have to take with a grain of wariness, even with some of the high consulting firms that are well known in the industry have tried to. Well, can you write a simple case study as part of consideration of this and how you're going to handle that, and that shows up in some of their documentation later on down the way whenever they tell you they decide to go with a different
I guess I kind of want to leave me with one final
extensive research on what's going on before you to settle in and do those type of things.
So let me share with you one parting piece of information. When you are interviewing for a position, the manager and all the people involved are trying to solve a problem. They're not trying to do you a favor. They're not trying to grow your career. They're not going to try just to give you salary. There's a particular problem in their organization that they need filled, and they're looking to see, will this allow me to get home in time to see my kids for dinner? Because everyone else is working harder because there's an open role in that team. And so you should try to keep that in mind as you answer these questions that they're asking you, that you don't try to qualify them or say, prove to me why I want to come work here, but demonstrate to them how you are part of a solution. And you're trying to give them information that you can demonstrate to them that you have the confidence to perform at the level that they need in order to solve the problem that they're trying to hire. So keep that in mind because that's going to be the best way for you to be able to be hired and be selected out of all the other candidates that they're interviewing. Because everyone today is looking at multiple options. They're not just interviewing one person and making a decision. And you got to separate yourself. And that's one of the ways that I see people doing it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Question? Fine, I don't know what the mic went over there. Oop.
So just wanted to make an announcement real quick. There's a happy hour coming up this coming Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. It's the Association of Business and Technology Professionals. They're having their next happy hour that time. So location is to be determined. Hopefully they will have that on. Hopefully that will be updated by the time Monday gets here. So I encourage people to attend for everybody looking for a good networking opportunity. So to sign up to attend, just go to abtpdfw.org. Again, that's abtpdfw.org. Click on the events tab and you will find the link to sign up for that happy hour. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, Rick, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Like I said, we will get this out to everybody in the email. As long as I have your email address, we'll get all the information out to you. Career DFW and Career USA, please be sure to check it out. On the Career DFW website, one of the big things is the calendar. And if you look at the graphical view, it looks like this. If you look at the agenda view, it looks like this. Both have the exact same information on it. It's all color coded. So like you see that the Fort Worth CSN meeting is on there twice because they're virtual and they meet in person. So depending on what calendar you select, I wanted to be showing up on both of those things. The Career USA YouTube channel, this video will be uploaded there later this afternoon. It should be up by dinner time and you can go back and watch it. Click on playlist and select the list that you'd like to go back and watch. And you can see interviewing, networking, resumes, LinkedIn, the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers down in the lower left-hand corner. Don't click on the video because what will happen is the video will start playing. But if you click on view full playlist, up will come a list of all the different topics and titles that we've had, and you can scan down and find the one that you want to watch. Just note that for the most part, most of our speakers start about 30 minutes after the video is started in to record. Next week, Career DFW and Career USA is putting on training on Tuesday, LinkedIn Tuesday. Terry Sullivan will be with us. How to tell your key contacts and prospects who you are, what you do, and how you can help. This presentation will not be recorded. Terry doesn't allow his presentations to be recorded. So if you want to watch them, you do need to watch them live. On Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting online only since it's the fourth Wednesday of the month. So join on Zoom. Once again, you can get that link, both those links on the Career DFW or Career USA calendar. Next Friday, here we'll talk about creating star stories and cover letters using AI. With John Ernett. John was part of this group years ago. He got a job and he got laid off and he was back part of this job, the group. So he's been here a couple of times. He helps out at the pit crew every Wednesday also. So he'll be here next Friday at 9:30. Coming up after that on May 2nd, being the first Friday of the month, we'll do open forum like we always do. We'll answer any questions you have about the job search. It'll just be an open discussion. And then on the 9th, networking the old-fashioned way with Jay Arbetter. It's a great presentation, very motivational. So it's just a really good basic networking thing and about how how Jay has done it, and he's become very successful in what he does. Today for lunch, we're going to go to Dickey's Barbecue. How many people are going to go so we have an idea how big a table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so 8 or 10. We'll go for the big table of 10. You're welcome to join us if you're online. Be us at Dickey's Barbecue on Preston, north of Parker, south of Spring Creek. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Have a great Friday, great weekend. Have a happy Easter weekend. In the email you'll get this afternoon, you'll also get an invitation to join our group. So you will get future mailings that are coming out. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you all next week.
Save the chat. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jess. Rick.